Is everything fine, sir?
Yeah, everything is okay from my side. I'm just waiting to go live.
Okay, sir. Manikanta, is everything fine on your side?
So it's live, sir. It's live,
Is
sir. It's
everything
live.
fine, sir?
Okay. So
Okay
from
from
my
my
side, I'm just waiting to go live.
Okay, sir. Manikanta, is everything fine on your side?
It's live, sir. It's
Yeah,
live, sir. It's live.
I'm just starting
Okay.
my presentation.
So from my side, I'm just waiting to go live.
Okay, sir.
Sir, wait for 2 more minutes, sir. We are gathering people.
Okay, okay.
You can go ahead, sir. Students have joined and join in meanwhile, sir.
Sure, sure. Just 1 second. I'll get started.
Okay, sir. Fine, sir.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. Hope all of you are doing well during these tough times. I'm Gnaneshwar from a company called RevOs Autotech. Today, I would be giving you a brief about our company, what we are, what we make, and a short demo of our most renowned product, Bolt. It is India's most affordable EV charging point. So let's get started. So to begin with, I would like to ask a set of questions. And during the course of this presentation, I would be answering each and every one of these questions. So to begin with the first question, it is a pretty basic one. Why the sudden need to expand and grow electric vehicles? Why do we need to adapt towards electric vehicles, basically? And the straightforward answer to that, would be that fossil fuels cause a lot of pollution, the conventional diesel or petrol engines that we're using right now. And we need to reduce our carbon footprint. EVs are the stepping stone to a sustainable future. And all of these points are valid. And through that, it's high time we start saving our planet Earth. But keeping the environmental factors aside, um, I would like to look at electric vehicles as a revolution. And this can open endless possibilities like connected vehicles, autonomous vehicles, regenerating and storing power, and a lot more various other options. All of these are possible with electric vehicles. Modern technologies are easier to implement when it comes to electric vehicles. And think of it this way. You must have seen or used an old, black and white mobile phone. And then came the evolution or the revolution of a smartphone. But we never knew we could use a mobile beyond calling or sending maybe an SMS. But look at where it got us right now. And we have come so far in terms of evolution of a mobile phone. Why not evolve the way we commute and make that smart? So, to summarize, electric vehicles both help us get a sustainable future, and it brings in a latest revolution. So let's move on to a brief about a company and how RevOs is contributing towards the electric vehicle revolution. RevOs Autotech was founded by two like-minded individuals who believed that our vehicles should be smart and should be able to communicate with each other like any other smart device. With a goal to develop a smart platform for electric vehicles, the journey took off in 2017. And 4 years later, under the vision of our co-founders Jyoti and Mohit, the company grew fivefold. And it currently operates with more than 35 OEMs across the country and overseas. Our peer-to-peer charging network launched in October 2020, and it went on to become the most adapted in India. Now, I would just show you briefly about all the products that we have. The first product developed by the company was a monochrome cluster with smart features such as Bluetooth connectivity, turn-by-turn navigation, call notification, vehicle diagnostics, and option to control vehicle parameters like motor, power, the speed at which the vehicle, and other parameters. The product was widely implemented across multiple OEMs and received good appreciation. And the journey moved on towards integrating GPS trackers to provide entry-level smart features for the customers. These entry-level features included basic locking and unlocking your vehicle from the smartphone, and just tracking where your vehicle is, and anti-theft features. Also, our last but not the least, our most profound product yet. Bolt was a visionary concept developed to overcome the range anxiety and help towards faster adoption of electric vehicles. Now, I'll just show you a short video about our product Bolt and its commercial, basically. Okay, now you've seen the short video about our product Bolt. So let me give you a brief about it. Bolt is a low-cost EV charging socket developed by RevOs to promote growth and adaptability of EV charging network. The primary concern that any one of us, even if let it be me or you, whenever we're looking to buy a electric vehicle, we think that what will be the range of it, and how will I be able to charge it on the go. And our primary answer to this solution is with the product Bolt. And this device can be set up in 3 simple steps, and it allows users to charge their electric vehicles provided they have the Bolt smartphone app. And this vehicle, this device comes with class-leading smart and AI-enabled features, which allows only EVs to be charged and no other electric appliance would work on the system. And basically, to give a summary, like take you have an electric vehicle and you're looking to get charge it. But what, as per our market research and what we have done, a lot of charging happens at home. or at offices or at public places. But the primary places at which a user charges would be at home. Think of it as a mobile phone or any other smart appliance that you have. You would use it until the power drains, and you would at the end of the day come back home and charge your phone. It works the same way. 70 to 75% of the commuters use their vehicles for daily office commuting. And for them, there is a scope of charging it in their homes or in their offices, where they stay for a period of at least 7 to 8 hours in a day, and the remaining part at home. Even if you take visiting like shopping malls or restaurants and cafes, a user spends more than 45 minutes to 1 hour at least to at public places. In that situations also, there is a scope of charging your vehicle. The 1 hour charge could get you 30 35 kilometers more, or 30 percentage of charge, which solves the last mile commuting problem that exists with electric vehicles. And coming to this product, we have tested it extensively under multiple load conditions, and it supports a power output of around 3.3 kilowatt. The device can be set up as a public charging station or a private home charger. So for a user, it gives the access of two ways. If I want to set up this device in a public place, say a kirana shop or a mall or a parking lot anywhere, I can set this, purchase this device, I can install it there, and I can keep it as a public charging station where anyone with the Bolt app can come, scan, pay, and charge. And if I do not want that, I am not looking to establish a public charging service or anything. I just want to charge my own vehicle at my own home. In that situation, you can purchase a Bolt, you can install it at your home, and you can make it a private charger. The option is given in the app. As the owner of the charger, you can decide what you want to do. You can make it public, you can make it private. And once you make it private, it will be visible only to you. Like the public who is using the app cannot see that charging point on the map. So it gives endless customization. And this product was fully designed and developed in India, unlike many other electric vehicle components which are made and imported from China. This charging point is homologated and completely made in India. And right now I have a short video on the Bolt user demo, like how a user can get to see and use Bolt.
Excuse me, sir. Audio is not coming for demo video, sir.
Okay, hope you've seen the user demo video. So it gives a brief idea as to how, like say, a user can download the app, look out for the nearest charging station. They can go use it, and it's a very simple process. And that is how we wanted to develop or establish this charging network. Anyone should be able to access it easily, and anyone should be able to own it easily without any hassle free or any other problems. Now let me give you a brief about what is inside the RevOs bolt, or what makes up this product. So basically we have 5 to 6 major components, if you can see. Like the enclosure itself is a plastic box or a socket box, and inside it we have our PCB, which is a patented design by RevOs, and we have components which are placed on top of the PCB, and all the sensors which are needed, the Bluetooth module, the energy sensor, and whatever is needed, we have those assembled here. And it also has an MCB and a back cover. So let us dig deeper to learn more about the what each component does. So the front end enclosure basically contains the socket and MCB for plug-in and on-off purposes. The LED indicates various stages like initialization, connected, and charging. There is a protective shield to protect the device from dust, water, and damages. And so basically you can see that the front enclosure, it houses the MCB and the socket. It is a 16 amp socket, and any home charger which comes along with your vehicle can be plugged in and can be used for charging. And coming to the electronics side of things, there is like I've told you, there is a PCB present inside, and this PCB houses all the major components like the AC/DC converter or the relay or the Bluetooth module or the energy sensor. And how this basically works is that the input power which comes in is sent to the AC/DC converter, and here it gets converted to the required voltages, and there is an output which is then sent to the Bluetooth module and to the relay, as well as to the other components like the LEDs and stuff. And the energy sensor, on the other hand, once someone starts charging, it monitors live, it collects live energy consumption data and it pushes it to the app. And a user can see from their phone as to how much energy is being consumed by their vehicle. This is a added advantage and a very good feature where someone can monitor exactly how much power their vehicle is consuming, and depending on the energy consumption, you can charge the user accordingly. And on the PCB, you can also see that there are four connectors or four wires which are going in, where um, all the input and output wires are placed. And coming to the back enclosure, it is a very simple thing. It has two parallel grooves where the MCB is fitted in, and it has the mounting provision for mounting the PCB and the other components. And moving on, we have like the technology behind the product. There is like this product operates on Bluetooth, and it can also connect to your home Wi-Fi to work based on internet. So the primary target of this product is to establish the a standalone unit. So by standalone unit, what I mean is that there is no requirement for any sort of internet connection or anything. This you can directly just connect it to a regular power supply, a single phase power supply, and you can check as to how you can set up the device and use it. And basically the okay. So this is how basically you connect it using Bluetooth, and through which the data comes to the app, and the app sends the data to the charger management platform or the server, and that pushes the data to the backend, and or if anyone wants to access the third-party data, APIs through APIs. And moving on. Giving specifics about hardware and hardware details and specifications. Like with this charging station, you can there is an earning potential, and you can turn it off and on using the Bolt app. You get Bluetooth enabled features and UPI payments and a lot more stuff. But coming to the major part, like how the adoption rate, or what we've seen through the market about electric vehicles in India. So like the need for a low cost charging station is very high, because charging stations by itself are very expensive, and the problem with the current charging stations is that it takes a lot of place, or it takes a lot of cost, and a separate power connection, and the price. So all of these things are stopping or are becoming the hurdles for someone to establish the charging network. And with there is a need to develop a low-cost charging station, and that is where Bolt addresses it. Like you can establish this charging point anywhere, and the advantage is that anyone carrying their vehicle charger can come and charge it. And in India, where there are more than 1 million electric vehicles already, and most of them are 2 and 3 wheelers. So the need for low cost charging stations is very high. Uh, yeah. And coming to our deployments, the product is widely deployed across the nation, and it is being currently used for charging at two and three wheelers, more than 1,000 locations across India. So you can see the footprint that we've brought and where all the charging stations are implemented. You can see from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, a lot of more than 1,000 chargers have already been deployed, and the adaptability rate is very high when it comes to a low cost charging station. More than 3,000 users are charging through the charging point across the country, and it is trusted and used by more than 10 OEMs in India. And going on to the future, the aim is to deploy more than 1 lakh units in the next 2 years, and to become India's widely accepted and used charging network. The goal ultimately is to reduce the fear or anxiety and contribute towards the adoption of electric vehicles. Electric vehicles are undoubtedly the future, and we have to do our part in contributing towards faster adoption of electric vehicles. And Bolt is an answer for that. Yeah, and I would like to move on and say if there are any questions. Okay, so I would also like to add a few points about how this technology or how electric vehicles are going to transform our country. So basically, I've asked this question initially before, like why there is a need for us to develop electric vehicles. Electric vehicles majorly are required right now because we have depleted our resources and we have caused a lot of pollution to the environment. And moving on to how we can implement. moving on to how we can implement these or bring in the revolution towards electric vehicles. Um, the need for a low-cost charging station where users can buy it easily and can establish in their homes or at public locations is very is needed, and that is where uh, the market is open right now, and this technology per se is a very simple thing to build and use. Like any anyone who's looking to deploy these charging stations can easily purchase them, can easily install them, and can make their charging, can put their chargers public and gain an earning potential. And so that is pretty much it. I would like to close this, and I'm open to taking questions right now. So I'm just going through the comments and answering the questions. Like someone has asked, what is meant by OEM? OEM means an original equipment manufacturer. For example, take Maruti Suzuki or Honda or any electric vehicle company in India. So they are called original equipment manufacturers. And companies like Bosch or whoever are the suppliers for them are called tier 1 or tier 2 suppliers, depending on what products they supply. So that is what is meant by OEMs. And something else that I can see is, mm, will my car battery eventually brick itself like a phone battery always does? To be specific, yes, any battery by itself has a lifetime, like any other IC engine vehicle or any device consisting of battery. Uh, the batteries are bound to die and they have limited life. But when it comes to electric vehicles, the minimum warranty that is offered by a company or an OE or anyone, like you take Tata Nexon, for example, or uh, MGZS, the minimum warranty that you get is for 5 years and 1 lakh kilometers. And beyond that, is when you will have to think about replacing your battery cells, or that is when the range of the vehicle would come down. But until then, you would not be facing any issues. And one more thing, a good question that has been asked here is that why the implementation of electric motors is slow in India. The implementation of electric motors, in the sense, I'm assuming that you're asking why we are not manufacturing them. Because there are other countries, like let it be China, for example. They have very well established and developed technologies, and they offer mass manufacturing at a very competitive price. And they already have a very well established EV community. Like a majority share of the vehicles that are sold every year in China are electric vehicles. And that is why the need to import comes, because we are still at the adaptation phase where the electric motors are still being developed by few companies, and the homologation, or what make in India will eventually happen. I know a few companies which are making them and are concentrating on remarkable technologies. Some are making motors without magnets, and there are also high-powered DC motors. So there are companies which are doing it right now, but it's going to take a few years for us to be well established. And there is also another question. Will car batteries last forever, or will any new fuel replace electric cars like hydrogen fuels? Yeah, that's a very interesting question actually. Car batteries will not last forever. Forever is a very, difficult thing to achieve, because nothing lasts forever. Let it be your IC engine vehicle. It has a certain runtime, and after that the engine dies eventually, or you'll have to rebore or replace the components in the engine, and you'll have to do. But to the second part of the question, any new fuel replaces electric cars? Yes, there is a very high chance that it might not replace, but it would be developed simultaneously along with electric cars. And hydrogen, like fuel cell vehicles, are a show promising results and are bound to have a market for themselves. And there is also another question: how long it takes to charge fully, how fast it charges. So, to address this question, I'm thinking this is asked about our product Bolt and how fast can a user charge their vehicle using this product. So, essentially, this is a slow speed charger, and primarily targeted at resolving last mile commuting or home charging. This retails at a price of 3,000 rupees, and the advantage here is that you can monitor the energy consumption. You can it is smart enabled. You can connect it to your smartphone app and track, get all the details of your vehicle charging. And the need for fast charging only comes when for example, say you have no time and you need to like charge your battery to the fullest at the limited time possible. Only in that situation is where a fast charger is implemented. And otherwise, slow charging is always recommended for your vehicles for betterment of battery health. And even if you're charging at home, or if you're charging at your office, or if you go to a movie theater, you have the time where you can slow charge your batteries. The 3 hours, 6 hours, or 8 hours of the time that you spend at these places can help charge. At this point, you can charge your vehicle, and as well as um, this would help batteries last longer. And also, let me move on to the next question. Mm, the dominant factors contributing to the success of electric vehicles in marketplace. Okay, so the primary factors right now which are contributing is the range with which the electric vehicles are offered, and the charging time which they take, and even the price. Coming to the cost, if you compare it with any other regular vehicle, like take a petrol Tata Nexon and electric Tata Nexon, there is a price difference of around 3 to 4 lakhs easily. And a lot of people would think investing this 3 to 4 lakhs would only give me the range of 200 kilometers, and beyond that I would not be able to travel. um, but the thing is that you invest that amount towards a electric vehicle, and how often do you travel 200 kilometers? Like in a day, the maximum by any urban commuter would be to the office and to back home, or any other local visits that you do in a day. But beyond that, no one, you hardly travel more in a day-to-day scenario. But when it comes to traveling longer distances, that is where the need for established charging stations and markets is necessary. And to summarize, these will be the dominant factors: the range, the cost of the batteries should come down, because we are currently relying on only one country which has the highest lithium ores, and who is the largest lithium cells manufacturer. And moving on, we are shifting to electric cars in the name of saving environment, but manufacturing of electric batteries generate more carbon emissions. What's your comment on this? Okay. Yeah, this is a very, big topic to touch. I'll try to give a brief summary. The concept that electric vehicles produce no pollution or generate no pollution is not correct. Electric vehicles produce zero tailpipe emissions. That is the statement which we need to remember. Electric vehicles are only cause zero tailpipe emissions. But when it comes to when you compare the life of a gasoline vehicle and an electric vehicle, where we pollute the environment for an electric vehicle is through lithium, extracting lithium and processing it into batteries. That is where the major pollution is caused. And even the manufacturing industry is true. They run on they emit carbon dioxide, or they do cause pollution. Any manufacturing process causes pollution. But when you compare the same with uh, a gasoline vehicle, the throughout its life, let the life of the vehicle be 10 years, 15 years, or whatever it might be, it will keep producing tailpipe emissions and cause problems to the environment. So comparing both of them together, electric vehicles have an added advantage that you do not cause pollution while running the vehicle. It is during the manufacturing process. But how can we avoid that is a technological evolution which has to come. We need to make sure that industries run with sustainable or renewable energy, and they contribute, they also adapt towards green technology. And the next question, just a second. By salt water, can we produce electricity? I think, yeah, I need to research about this. I'm not entirely sure about if we can produce electricity with salt water, and even if we can, how much of electricity we can produce, and what is the conversion process, and how, depending on how much power we produce, how many liters of water do you need to store around your vehicle. All of that is a completely different topic. What about the heat produced from car battery? True. So the heat produced from car battery, brings in a new requirement of cooling systems. So that is a technology by itself. How can you optimize battery heating, or how can you make sure that batteries stay at an optimal temperature? But that by itself is another technology, and there are a lot of companies doing it right now, and all the vehicles out in the market, they are achieving that. The heat produced by the battery is being reduced with their cooling systems. Let it be liquid cooling, air cooling, different types are implemented. Can any Indian company beat Tesla if it enters Indian market. It's very expensive when considering Indian users. Which company can beat the competition of Indian electric vehicles? Okay, so I what I understood from this question is that will any Indian company will be able to beat Tesla if they enter India? So how do I answer this? Tesla, if they enter India, sure, they would take up a large section of the market. But essentially, the price at which they place their cars, or how much of autonomous driving is possible in India, I'm sure when they enter, they would not give the features of autonomous driving. But it's a question I think which we'll have to wait and watch. That are people really willing to spend so much over electric vehicles right now, or is it are the costs have to come down? And how effective is regenerative braking? So regenerative braking, let me take a live example. So I personally own a Mahindra E2, and in that vehicle, the regenerative braking feature is there. And for example, take a full charge cycle. I've charged my vehicle 100%, and during the course of this run, or until the battery comes down till 10%, the regenerative braking is stored in the vehicle, and I mean in the battery, and that can only be accessed in case of when the power is lower than 10%, only for this particular vehicle. And once you come down below 10%, there is an option where you can select start revive, and that is when the regenerative braking comes into place. And for this particular car, it gave an added 5%, which is not too much, but if you consider traveling a 5 kilometer trip, then yeah, 5% is really important. And next question is, can lithium and other materials contained in EV batteries be recycled? So recycling of EV batteries, that itself is a very good place to explore or research, because there are certain methods to establish to recycle batteries and lithium or whatever comes from these batteries, and that is a technology which is still under development. So being the youth or the younger generation, I would surely suggest you to look into how batteries can be recycled or what are the technologies around it. And can a user change the battery? How about a spare battery that can comes in handy when we are in urgency, so user can change it? True, battery swapping. I mean, this technology by itself is called battery swapping, and multiple companies are focusing on battery swapping. But it is a very good and easy to imagine the scenario when you're running out of charge, and you find your nearest battery point, or whatever it is called, swap point. You go there, you take out your battery, just plug it in, you take in a fresh battery, put it in your vehicle, and just go. It will be faster than refueling your car. But the problem comes where all the companies have to follow a standard here of designing the same kind of battery, and that is where there is this technology, the scalability of this technology gets affected. Unless that is implemented where every company uses the same kind of battery, like if there are 10 companies who are making 10 different kinds of electric vehicles, there should be 10 battery swapping points at that particular location. So that is not a very possible future. Moving on to the next question. When world using normal vehicles, we wouldn't develop the EV. But when world is developing EV, now we are struggling to develop. Why didn't we done it before? Tesla came. Where our knowledge is gone? Okay, I'm presuming this is not a question. This guy is very angry that why didn't we develop electric vehicles much before? I mean, things take time, Satish. We learn from our mistakes. And slow charging. What's the time taken to charge it? If it's more than an hour, do people show interest in taking all in this busy life? Okay. So I'm assuming you're asking why are we emphasizing on slow charging and not fast charging? So the time taken to charge it will be depends on the kind of charger that you have with the vehicle. Like if your vehicle can draw more power, your charger can draw more power. Sure, the charging point would supply that, and you can charge your vehicle faster. But like I've told you examples here, and we can look at it this way. You commute to your college or to your office, or you stay at your home. You spend how many hours there? 6 hours, 8 hours in a day? And how much of a fast charging do you need? And how often do you travel long distances where fast charging is actually necessary? So these are questions which you just need to think for yourself. And are there any? Yeah, I think we would like to stop the session right now. We're past our time. Yeah. Thank you for your time, guys. Hope I've cleared whatever you need. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah.